In today's episode of the Motorhome Matt podcast,
I investigate a great new product to keep your motorhome secure.
In the news, Campervan Campout is just around the corner.
And we answer your questions on getting motorhome finance, air versus hydraulic levelling, and battery beeping.
Welcome to the Motorhome Matt podcast. I'm Keith Gooden.
And I'm Motorhome Matt.
It's industry insights, expert advice for the world of motorhomes, caravans and campervans, brought to you by thatleisureshop.com and sponsored by Ripe.
Please remember to follow on your favourite podcast app, or if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you are subscribed and you click that little bell.
In the news, Motorhome Hire and Sales Open Day. It's at the Motorhome Holiday Company and That Leisure Shop, 25th of April, plus a sale on Brunner.
There's loads going on, yeah. We've got a big sale on all our Brunner stocks at That Leisure Shop. We're open all day on Saturday the 25th from 10 until 4.
And which site is that then?
This is at our Hewish site, so junction 21 of the M5. Just head off toward Bristol, mile or so on the left-hand side. Look for the speed camera and normally the orange flags if the wind's being kind. We will have a range of our hire fleet there for you to come and look at, and a number of motorhomes and campervans for sale. And we have a little announcement to make. We are now stockists of Spartan Campers. They are a brilliant converter of used vans. We've got T6s, T7. So come and see the range that we've got here for sale. Plus, we have a range of other campervan and motorhomes for sale too. And at this one, if the weather is kind, we'll have the barbecue out. So free barbecue. It'll be a charitable donation if you feel you want to.
Free?
Yeah, for free. You pop a pound in the pot to local blood bike charity. That's our normal cause that we support. And come and grab a hot dog or a burger. So one of the team will be manning or womaning the barbecue throughout the day. So do come and see us Saturday, 25th of April from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m.
And who the diddle is Dave, because he's got a deal this week at That Leisure Shop.
Who is Dave?
Yeah,
how very dare you?
Dave's deals. Well, if somebody's watching or listening to this anew, they won't know, will
That's
they?
true. Well, Dave runs our shop in North Somerset at Hewish, and every week is a different Dave's deal. And this week is huge discounts off Brunner furniture and tableware. So, yeah, do come along. Check out the deals online or come and see us on Saturday.
That's 40% off on the Brunner sale. And you can shop online, by the way, at thatleisureshop.com.
It's time for our regular show feature here on the Motorhome Matt podcast. And I am delighted to be joined by Michael from Warner's. How you doing?
Good, thanks. You?
And yeah, very well, thank you. Yeah, and Simon from Spartan Campers. Hi, Si.
Good morning.
Welcome to the podcast, guys. Now we're talking about a very exciting and slightly different type of show this time. It's Campervan Campout 2026. Michael, just tell us, what is it about Campout that makes it different to all your other shows?
Well, this one is definitely more of a festival. It's got a festival atmosphere with music all day and activities all day. It's less about the shopping and more about the music, activities and community.
It's a very family-based event as well, isn't it?
Yeah, the whole site is family-friendly and dog-friendly as well.
Cool. Right, okay, well, we're going to get into what's going on at the weekend in a minute. But, Si, you're here because you're here as wearing your Spartan hat. You are Spartan Si.
I am indeed.
For those that follow Spartan Campers, you will recognise this bearded fella. Now, what is special about this event for Spartan?
So, we like to give back to our sort of Spartan family and the camp out, with it being sort of a festival vibe. Last year we got involved and we got a load of our owners back, so we actually got to spend time with them, get around the campsite, hear the stories and actually just build our community a little bit more.
Okay.
So this year we're going to come back bigger and better. We're going to be the headline sponsors. We're going to get really involved. We're going to have a huge Spartan presence there this year. So it's going to be
So you are the headline sponsor of Campervan Campout this year?
We are indeed, yeah. You'll be able to see us on the Spartan stage. We're going to be all over the place this weekend.
So there's loads going on, isn't there, all weekend?
Absolutely.
Now, your customers play a big part when you exhibit at these shows.
They certainly do.
And they can stay at this event with a discounted price.
They can, yeah.
How do they go about doing that?
So they pop on, see us on the websites. We've got a special members-only area for booking your tickets on there.
Yeah.
You have to be a Spartan family member, own a van, come and stay with us. We'll have our own Spartan area then, so you'll actually be involved with us, the owners. We're all campers ourselves, so we'll be there in our vans and sharing the weekend with everyone.
So get in touch with the Spartan office.
That's it,
and
yeah.
they can get a discount on the weekend ticket.
That's the way to do it.
So, Michael, just tell us then, what is actually going on at this event? The big thing is always the live entertainment, the main stage.
Yep.
Who's coming this year?
So on the Spartan Campers stage this year, the headliners are Ellie Sachs,
Cool.
Marvin Humes,
Okay.
and on Sunday we've got this very good Kevin and Perry act.
They're great. They are fantastic.
Yeah.
They are very funny. Okay,
Yeah.
and then throughout the weekend, there's also live music as well. The Advice Centre's back, of course, of which I'm a huge fan of. But we've got a Creators Day again being featured there on the Sunday.
Yep.
And then there's loads of other things going on throughout the weekend. Tell us a bit more.
Yes, so there's lots of family activities for all the children. So there's bushcraft, inflatables.
We've got
there's
axe throwing
axe
again?
axe throwing, archery, target paintball, family camping workshops. There's foraging walks for kids. There's lots of stuff in the wellness sanctuary, which is for all ages. So there'll be stuff for adults and children.
Get involved with that.
Yeah.
And the dog swimming pool's back, I
Yeah,
understand.
the dog swimming pool.
So if you're bringing your dog, you can take him for a swim.
Yep. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, 'cause you can actually get in with them.
Yeah,
This one,
in the pool.
the pool,
I didn't get in with Reg, and I probably won't be this year, I'll be honest.
Yeah. And we've got Mark from Van Life Eats. He'll be
Yes.
back doing his cooking demos and workshops.
And you've got the self-build show running at the same time alongside this,
Yes.
where you're featuring some really amazing self-built camper vans.
Yeah.
Built Not Bought are going to
Yeah.
be there as well.
Yeah, they're going to be hosting talks and workshops around the self-build side of van builds.
Brilliant. There's a lot going on.
It certainly is.
And of course, you as Spartan, you're going to have a trade area too,
We will,
where
yeah.
you will be exhibiting Spartan campers
We
for
will.
sale.
We will indeed, yeah. We'll have all new conversions there, so we'll be able to show all that off, and you can get hands-on and actually feel what the vans are like for yourself.
Brilliant. It's going to be a great weekend. So when is it, Michael?
The 1st to the 3rd of May.
Okay, so bank holiday weekend.
Yep.
And what does it cost for all of this? For 4 nights camping, what is the total fee?
It's £199.50.
Okay, so it's under 200 quid.
Yes. And that's
4
full-
nights camping.
Yeah, for the full family. So it's 2 adults and up to 3 children. You don't need any other extra tickets.
Okay, and you can bring the dog.
You can bring the dog.
And there's day tickets available too, with a twist this year.
Yeah, it's slightly different this year. So now there's one price, it's £25, but you can come back multiple days.
Brilliant.
And
So you
stay
pay once.
Yeah, you pay once and you can come back each day. And you stay from the beginning right to the end.
So you can stay for the evening entertainment on the
Yeah.
Spartan main stage.
Yeah, you just can't camp.
Okay, gotcha. Brilliant. So again, where is it? We didn't actually say.
South of England show in Ardingly.
Ardingly.
Ardingly,
Ardingly, the
sorry.
locals call it. This is down near Brighton. To find out about all of Warner's shows and specifically Campervan Campout, where you can get 20% off your day ticket price, head to mhmp.info/Warners. We look forward to seeing you in Ardingly on the first weekend of May.
Our main topic of conversation this week on the Motorhome Matt podcast is we discover a new product to this pastime. It's VanGuardian.
Yeah, this is an ingenious security product that is designed to keep a thief out of your vehicle. So as soon as they try getting in, they are deterred from it. And I've got one here. This is a VanGuardian. And I met with Mike at the recent NEC show to tell me a little bit more about it. Now, for those who watch or listen to the podcast regularly, you will know that I crave innovation and search for product launches. And I'm delighted to be joined by Mike from VanGuardian. Mike, welcome.
Yeah, good to be here, Matt. Nice to meet you.
Now, I'm actually quite excited about this product because I think it is quite revolutionary. You were famously on Dragon's Den. You didn't manage to get any funding, but they took a real interest. Tell us, what is VanGuardian and how does it work?
Well, VanGuardian was designed and developed here in the UK, manufactured in the UK. And why is it being developed? To stop thieves operating around a vehicle undetected. So a thief's main asset is his anonymity. Being able to operate up close and personal around the van is a thief's main strength. VanGuardian removes his anonymity, stops him operating undetected, and exposes him for what he's about to do with a powerful alarm.
Right, okay, so this is a kind of motion detection system.
Yeah, so motion is not, it's actual contact with the vehicle. So we don't mind people walking around the vehicle, we don't mind people even stroking us van mat, but what we don't want is any attempted attack or door tampering, and that's the first phase action from a thief to try to get in. It immediately activates and then puts a thief on the back foot.
So knocking the van, are you trying to break a window or trying to tap out the door lock? That's a classic, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah, yeah. The first phase is pulling the door handle, seeing if the van's open.
Right.
And so VanGuardian will activate on that premise, maybe trying the windows. Any little aggressive action to open a window will activate the VanGuardian. So you get this perimeter protection around the vehicle to protect bikes on the back.
Yes.
People who carry bikes on the back are vulnerable, and the VanGuardian on the rear will activate so it tries to remove the bikes.
So what you do then is you put one of these on each access point into the van, so on each door.
Yeah.
If you've got back doors, one of these on the back doors, and it detects that vibration. What does it do when you knock the van?
Yeah, it's a good point. So VanGuardian, in essence, is a zonal system of protection. What you decide what you want to protect. So classic is driver passenger door, habitational door, perhaps the garages, and then the rear. So we build up a bundle based on what your requirements are.
Okay, based on how many units you need.
That's correct, and how many units you need as entry points. Now, when you do it on an entry point, you do get a spread of coverage, say for windows on the side. So you're not just putting it on the habitational door, you will get window protection on the left, window protection on the right.
Yeah.
And if you do on the garages, you'll get window protection above the garage.
Yeah.
So you do get a spread as well around the vehicle.
So just talk us through what VanGuardian does if I knock the van.
So VanGuardian has built into it a triaxle accelerometer that senses...
What?
Yeah, the triaxle accelerometers...
It's like a flux capacitor.
That's right.
Have
yeah,
you made
it
that
is.
up?
Yeah, I wish I had. It sounds good, doesn't it?
It does sound
But
very good.
that is the technology, and it comes from wind tunnel testing. But the beauty of it is, it means that we can program it to ignore certain frequencies, certain resonance. That means that we tighten it up to ignore wind sway and buffering, Matt. So a vehicle that rocks as you would do without any sort of suspension support, and the vehicle's won't activate the VanGuardian.
Okay.
So this is important because it means you can actually occupy the vehicle at night whilst you're sleeping and actually activate your VanGuardian alarm protection around the vehicle, putting a blanket of protection over you whilst you're sleeping. So if you're a sole traveller, this could give you a real peace of mind whilst you're travelling, knowing that you've got alarm protection around the vehicle as well.
So it's an audible alarm.
Yes.
It's very ear-piercing.
It is very cool.
You've changed that, though, haven't you? Made it a slightly softer noise.
That's correct. So from the feedback in the release of last year into the motorhome market, people have given us feedback. Could you make it a little bit quieter when you're setting it so it's a bit more sociable? So we've reduced the amount of beeps to one beep, and we've reduced the audible sound that makes. So now we've got soft tone on the new product, which is a fantastic feature to make it more sociably friendly. And we've increased the audible capacity of the alarm mat to the new sonic siren, 113 decibel plus alarm, so it's really piercing when it goes off. What do you want from alarm? You want it to be loud, and this is loud. It's really good.
We're going to experience this for ourselves in a minute, but how easy are they to fit?
Well, it's been designed as a simple end user fit, so we don't drill, we don't screw, we're not asking you to do any wiring. Battery operated device using an I-bond contact adhesive strip on the rear to attach it to the vehicle, which doesn't damage the vehicle. If you ever want to remove it in the future, you can do that, but it does create a strong lasting waterproof bond when it is attached to the vehicle, so it's securely attached. Of course, it's tamper-proof, is VanGuardian.
Yeah.
So a thief who might see it as a target and try tampering with it is going to immediately activate the alarm, so it's protecting itself.
Yeah.
So
And they'll walk away. That's
and
what
they'll
we want.
walk away,
Yeah.
100%.
So, physical alarms, trackers, and so on are great, but you don't want anyone in your van, and that's what this stops, isn't it?
That's correct. It's the damage to the van by a thief being able to operate around it undetected that we're trying to eliminate, and we're trying to safeguard what's inside, whether that's equipment or you whilst you're sleeping.
Now, this, I believe, is good enough that I want it on my own van, and you've agreed to fit a system of VanGuardian to my van.
Yep.
Let's go and do that now. So, Mike, we're here at the National Motorhome Campervan and Camping Exhibition in Harrogate. In the sun, it's beautiful.
It's beautiful
We're still in the shade, so we can do this for video. But just talk us through the kit. We've got the VanGuardian kit here, which you have started fitting to the van, but I want you to just talk us through how easy it is to fit.
Yeah.
It comes with black covers and silver writing, but I'm going for the beautiful orange.
Yep, especially for you, Matt.
That's very good. And these are an optional extra you can buy.
Yeah.
So if you buy the kit at a show and you haven't got the right colour with you,
Yep.
people can order that after the event. And they can even get them sprayed to match their van. don't they?
Absolutely, we do a bespoke spray painted option to match exactly the colour of the van if you wanted that, or you can go for the bright orange or any colour. We do about maybe 10 different colours, so you could choose from. So yeah, you can find them on the website. Currently 50% off whilst we're doing the Warner's shows, so take advantage of that as well.
And you are going to be at all the Warner shows this year, aren't you? So people
We
can
are.
come and talk to you in person.
Yes.
Now, talk us through the fitting. The first thing is to wipe down the van with the supplied wipe.
That's
and
correct.
making sure it's really clean.
Yeah.
And that's how you prepare the area.
That's correct. So every kit comes with a 3M wipe, and that's how you're going to finally prepare the surface area prior to attaching the adhesive base.
And then on the back of the unit, you peel off the protective cover, revealing the sticky tape base,
That's correct.
and line it up twice and stick it on once.
That's correct. We do advocate that. Make sure that you're happy with that location and the level, because once it's on, it's going to be a devil's job to remove, and you're going to ruin its integrity removing it. You'd have to order a new base.
Now, it's really important when you're doing the cab doors, you're mindful of how the door opens, because the risk is if you put the unit right at the front of the door, it will disappear into that gap in behind the wing. So really important, you open the door to the maximum point and then line it up at that point, isn't it?
Absolutely. You could actually demonstrate that on your doors, because yours is one that goes inside the wing, because that does set the parameters further back to avoid clashing with the wing when it goes inside.
So we're going to fit to the sliding door now.
Yep.
We're going to prepare the area and
Yep.
stick it on. Do you want to do that in person? Show us how it's done?
Absolutely. So I'm just going to clean the area just to get it started. But then again, it's always important to use the 3M wipe to finish this off. This gets rid of all the finer nuances. More importantly, when it evaporates as well, it makes sure there's no moisture in this area where the base is going to be fit. So yeah, it's always important. Finish it off with your 3M wipe. Let's just have a quick look at that. So even there, look, you get some nuances of the debris, even though we've wiped it with the cloth.
Yeah.
So it's very important to use that. Yeah.
So now it's clean and good to be stuck to.
Yep. So we'll come round here. We've got a dual alarm cabinet we're going to put on the side, and you're going to tap it down, and this just releases the base, so you can take that off. And once you've got your base, all you've then got to do with the preparation of the area, and you're happy with the location, is expose the adhesive molecules underneath. Take this over to the van, and on the side door, this is ideal, just above there. So we've got a nice alignment there, we've got coverage to the side and across, and so yeah, perfect position. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take this tool, and it's a multi-tool. One, it's required for removing the cover plates, but importantly as well, putting the hands like this is for applying pressure over that surface area. And I'm just going to rub backwards and forwards. This activates the adhesive underneath, and it's important that you do this. This gets it agitated, and it starts to create a strong bond to the vehicle. Interestingly, you've got a wrap there, Matt, and if you ever put it on a wrap, this adhesive will stick extremely strong to a wrap. But the problem with the wrap is it's only as good as the wrap that you've put it on. So you've just got to be mindful, it will attach to a wrap, but you've got to be mindful that it's only as strong as the wrap. So it could upset its integrity, you know.
And I imagine if you were to remove the VanGuardian, you're going to remove the wrap.
You're going to blister the wrap, absolutely. So you've got to be mindful of that if you're going to put it on there. So
you're happy with that?
I'm happy with that. We're going to now take his cabinet.
So in here are 3 AAA batteries. I've been talking to a lot of people about the fact I'm loving this product and having it fitted to my van.
Yep.
And the closest to a negative comment I can get is, oh, we had to change the battery in ours after a year. But they're just AAA batteries, aren't they?
Yeah, that's right. There's 3 AAA batteries inside each electronic cartridge that work independently of each other, and they will then provide you with a low battery indicator. Now, typically we say 6 to 8 months, but if somebody gets 12 months, fantastic. So we're just playing the average game, and 6 to 8 months is what we typically see with a low battery indicator, letting you know when them batteries start to get low, it's time for replacement.
So really important, before you fit it, you remove the tab.
Yeah,
Plastic tab.
as you'll see there, that's correct. So when it comes to fitting, you'll see there's a little tab here. They come pre-paired with batteries already in, so we're just going to pull out that tab. That initiates the power with the beep, and we're going to do the same here now. Another little beep, and that's it, it's ready to be attached. Just offer that up into position. This is when you go, is that level? It is. So We anchor it in all 4 corners with the screws that come with it, and this secures the alarm to the van.
And this, of course, does make it very difficult for a thief to remove, because not only have they got to remove the unit that's stuck on the van, they've actually got to get the screws out as well.
That's right, yeah. Well, not only that, when we finish, we've got the cover plate on, and the cover plate covers everything up. The screws, the speakers, all they're seeing is an alarm box. So they'd have to remove the cover plate and then the screws if they ever were going to remove it, by which time, well...
You've set the alarm off.
You've set the alarm off 100%.
Way before.
So you asked me, I think before, do all the alarms go off together simultaneously? And actually, in fact, the answer to that is no, they go off individually. You arm them and disarm them simultaneously together. But when it comes to actually activating, what we've finally done is we've offered an alarm at source where the problem is, and that emits the powerful alarm.
So they work independently, but they arm unanimously.
That's
and
correct.
Disarm in one.
That's
as
correct.
Well as well.
And in an attack, for example, if somebody did want to try and get in or bypass it and trying to remove it, that action would activate other alarms on the van, because that resonance would bring in other units.
So we fitted the VanGuardians to the van. We're now going to fit the orange cover to make them look super cool.
That's correct. I could not agree with you more.
So does that just clip on?
It does, Matt. There's a little receiver clip at this end, and we offer it up like this, and we click it in place.
Click in place.
And that's all locked in place. And the only way you can get that off is with the removal tool that we provide. So that's your security product. There's no speakers visible, so a thief can't just come up and block it off. And actually, when it's on, it's 100% waterproof, even in a power jet wash. Right. So, and actually, through the design and why we've got the patent for the base is through omnidirectional sound diffraction. It's a bit of a mouthful, but what
Did
that
you
means.
make that up?
No, it's the science. It's the appliance of science. That's another phrase I'm going to use, where the sound bounces off the van and it actually increases the width of the sound, so making a wider dispersion of sound. Very good.
Okay, so let's arm it and see if we can set it off. So how do you fitted them? How do you pair them to the remote, or do you do that at the factory?
Yeah, so everything's prepared, ready to dispatch. So all these have been prepared at the factory.
Right.
So when they come, all you've got to do is fit it. We try to eliminate as much as possible any nuance of trying to pair and unpair remote controls. So you just get a simple end user fit. Now, if you add a remote, or you add a wall switch, or you add one of our new sliding cover remotes, then we send you instructions how to pair that. And it's basically a 2-button press. To pair a remote, after everything's fit, all you do is you press and hold down the bottom button, the bell button.
But you send out the instructions on how
We
to
send
do
them out as well, yeah.
Okay, so let's set them then.
Right, we just arm it. So what you've got there is a new soft tone feature, so it's more sociably friendly in a group of motorhomes around. You don't want too many beeps. We listened in the first year to what feedback people were giving us, and we've now got soft tone and a new sonic, much quieter.
So you wait for the boop, boop.
That's correct.
And it has to do that twice or once? Or?
It does it. So you're transmitting and that's receiving. That's your first beep. And then you've got the set procedure that's telling you that it's now armed. Right. Interestingly, when you get a low battery indicator, the low battery comes in that pause.
Okay.
So
if it makes an extra beep, your battery's getting low.
That's correct.
Right, I'm going to try and open it. Is that okay?
Yep.
I've not even opened the door.
No, that's
So
right.
that's
It jolted. Yeah, it don't like that, does it?
So the first one, you've turned it off.
Yeah.
So it goes off for how many seconds the first time?
First time is 2-second blast.
Right.
Because it's letting people know the
And
vehicle's
then all I
protected.
did was let go of the handle and I triggered the second 30-second blast.
You did indeed. Yeah.
And then it would stop and go back to monitoring.
That's correct.
Okay.
It
So
would.
we've turned it off to stop that
Yes.
30-second blast. Let's just time it again.
Yep. First beeps. And now a set
Armed.
beeps. It's now armed.
So if I knock the window,
Well, I'll show you a little nuance, Matt,
Go on.
because with VanGuardian you can stroke a van, and we don't mind people stroking our van. But what you can't do is you can't tap it.
okay.
So that zonal area is covering around that vehicle, not just the windows. You have an extension to the side windows as well.
I'm parking on the road. What about passing traffic or wind? I'm going to rock the van. It's not going off.
No, it's a good one. That VanGuardian's pre-programmed to ignore wind sway and buffering, so rocking of the vehicle will not activate your VanGuardian. This is why you can arm it at night whilst you're inside sleeping, because the worst thing you're going to do is rolling around. It's one of our new, if the van's rocking, don't come knocking. It's one of our new slogans, but we've twisted that because, as I said, with VanGuardian, you can rock the van and still have the alarm protection to stop tampering whilst you're inside sleeping.
But if I try and open the door,
Yeah,
just
absolutely.
gently,
Yeah,
there it goes.
That's right. Absolutely.
And now it's gone back to 10 seconds again.
Yeah. It's got the subtle nuance now. Just pausing again, waiting for second contact. But again, the handle's interesting. But anywhere on this panel, Matt, if I just step across you, even if I come down here now and just give it a little tap, you've got the whole area protected.
No one is getting in this van with VanGuardian on it. You need to get one. Now, there is a discount code available. Just use the code Motorhome Matt and Mike will give you 10% off your VanGuardian kit. I highly recommend it. They're Motorhome Matt approved.
That was Mike Horsford of VanGuardian. You interviewed him at the NEC, and then subsequent to that, the live fitting at the Yorkshire show.
Yeah.
And this is what they are. No, you don't hit any potential burglar over the head with it. You fit it to the motorhome. I hear the missus wasn't very happy.
Well, mine is covered in these. They're bright orange, so we've got them on the cab doors on the sides and the back. And she saw the ones on the cab door and thought, oh, that's all right, they're quite small. And then, hang on, there's another one on the side. I went, yes, one on the other side as well, and one on the back. But you have to put them on all the points of entry on the van. I've gone with bright orange on our grey Adria Twin because I want to show off the fact that we've got it. You don't have to, you could get grey ones, but I think they're brilliant. So once you've set them up, so they're not oversensitive, they're great. So follow me on socials and join our Chat with Motorhome Matt group, where I'll be sharing how I get on with this, and hopefully it will never be needed to deter a thief, but it's there, so I've got the peace of mind.
And you can get 10% off by using the code Motorhome Matt. That's one word, Motorhome Matt, at mhmp.info/VanGuardian.
Now, Mike is going to most of the shows this year, so go and see him and say, we saw this on Motorhome Matt. Please tell him. That would be great. And you can find out more about it at mhmp.info/VanGuardian. I know a fair few of you have been busy converting a van over winter, getting it ready for this year's trips. Now, a lot of people assume DIY campervans are difficult to insure, or worse, not insurable at all.
That would be me. I just assume it's another headache.
Well, it doesn't have to be. Ripe specialise in motorhome and campervan insurance, and cover can be provided for DIY conversions too. So if you've built your own van, as long as it fits within the criteria that Ripe specify, you can get cover that reflects what it actually is now, not what it used to be.
So all the work you've put in is actually recognised.
Exactly, yeah. You can tailor the policy to suit how you use the van, cover the value of the conversion itself, and even add European travel if you're planning to head further afield.
So it's not just a one-size-fits-all job?
No, not at all. It takes a few minutes to get a quote online, and there's even a 15% discount for you as a Motorhome Matt listener. Click the link in the episode description.
So all your hard work can be cared for as it should be. It's the Motorhome Matt podcast with me, Keith Gooden.
And me, Motorhome Matt.
It's brought to you with thatleisureshop.com and sponsored by Ripe. It's our Q&A, the questions and answers. You ask the questions, and Motorhome Matt, for he is the expert, he will answer them. If he doesn't know the answer to your question, he will endeavour to find the answer from somebody who does know. First of all, Alicia Dawson has been in touch.
Good morning, Matt. So my questions are, can I get finance for living in a motorhome full time? Should I wait for a promotion at work before I start applying, because that would give me extra money in the pot per month? Thank you.
Couple of brief questions from Alyssa.
Where are you?
Alyssa.
You didn't say where you are.
Didn't say where she is, but she wants to be moving around here, there, and everywhere. So it's about finance, and people, are making this big decision to live out of a van. What's your advice?
I've predicted we'll see more finance penetration, as we call it in the trade. So people applying for finance to get a motorhome. I think there's a generation that have come into this pastime who are happy with finance, where traditionally people wouldn't buy one until they had the cash. So now it's a question of how much is it per month? And this is a big shift for our market, and it will continue to be so. So Alyssa, I would have assumed that living in a van was not an issue for a finance lender compared to an insurer, because they might have a different opinion. Anyway, I went and checked with the guys at Creative Funding Solutions, who are Motorhome Matt approved, and spoke to Steve. Thank you, Steve, for giving me a steer on this. And he said if you were to tell a lender that you were transient and basically no fixed abode and living in a van, they just back away. They would not be interested. So the advice would be, make sure you have got a physical address when you're applying for finance, that you are on the electoral roll, whether you're living with family. And then if you're going to go off and live in the van, make sure you stay at that address. Now, Steve said, even then, a financier would probably be cautious about lending to you. So I'm not suggesting you lie and don't tell them.
No, we never suggest that you lie.
You need to be aware that this could be an issue. So you need to make sure you are registered to an address. Steve said, I have no doubt that we have lent to people who are living in a van and they've disappeared off for 9-10 months and the lender doesn't know. He said it's also a big issue in static caravans where people are looking to move out of bricks and mortar into a static caravan on a site. And the reason is, it's very difficult. If you stop paying, it would be very difficult for the lender to get to the site to find you and to repossess that caravan. And so it is a big issue. In terms of waiting until you're promoted, the advice would be wait for yes, of course, if it's more money, it means you can borrow more. But it's probably, they're all about affordability. These days, lenders, that's really all they care about. Can you afford the repayments? Are they going to get paid? They need to see evidence. So that means you need to be in that post for 1 or 2 months, evidencing that new salary and that income to a bank account. They want to see that. So this is not like borrowing a mortgage, where it used to be a case of you've got to be employed for 3 months before you can apply for a mortgage. 1 or 2 months, Steve said, would probably be fine. They want to see an employment contract if you're new in post, so they want to know that you're out of probation and that there's some security. Basically, a lender just wants to know you're going to pay them back. That's it. That you can afford it and they're going to get paid.
They're going to get their money.
That's all they want to know. Yeah. So you're not going to run away, which living in a van you could. So that would be the tip: is get yourself a physical address. Make sure you're on the electoral roll at that address if you're going to apply for finance. And if you're waiting for a new job, get a couple of months under your belt, a couple of pay slips, and away you go.
Yep. And remember, Alyssa, you might be perfectly honest and above board, but not everybody is.
That's true.
They are, as I always say, ensuring risk.
Alyssa sounds lovely, though. We just don't know where you are. So tell us where you are.
Tell us where. And somebody else who didn't tell us where they are is Dominic McCready.
Hi Matt, really love the YouTube podcast channel. I listen to it a lot and I've had so many fantastic suggestions, tips and ideas from it. I've also caught you a couple of times at the Out and About Lives, and I've been to your shop on one of the stalls at one of those as well last in 2025. My question, so keep up the good work. My question is, if I went full air suspension, which is auto level in air suspension, is it better to have that than the hydraulic stands that you auto level with, or full hydraulic suspension? And is there a lifespan for air suspension versus hydraulic, which is better? And what happens if your air suspension blows a bag? What do you do? Cheers, mate. Thanks for all the good work and keep it up.
Well, with a name like Dominic McCready and an accent like that, my guess he's in Scotland. But if you are asking a question, please say where you are. We like to put the pin in the map so we know what we're covering and who we're covering and where you are. And also, it could have an impact on the way Matt answers, the geography, where you live, the dealerships.
That's true.
What's available in the area. So, can you help Dominic?
Yeah, we can. So, air versus hydraulic. Hopefully the recent episode we've done on levelling was really useful, and you've managed to get some guidance from that. And full air ride system from someone like VB is amazing because it puts airbags on the front and the back, but it does come at a greater cost than a hydraulic system, which of course doesn't give you any benefit to the ride. So air gives you a much smoother ride and the ability to level. My experience though, although not firsthand, is that having seen other vehicles, air will level you so much, but if you're on a bit of a slope, then levelling rams are more effective. They can get the van much higher and got a much bigger chance of getting you level. But they have no impact at all on the ride. So rear air which is what I've got on my van.
Rear air?
It's just, if your back end sags, use our bags. That's what Air Ride always say. Love that. So I've got Air Ride with 1R on the back of my van, and all that does really is makes it more stable, particularly when we're on the motorway. If we're overtaking a lorry or being overtaken, that sway is gone. It's brilliant when we're towing our trailer because I can put air in the bags and gives us our suspension back, because the springs, the suspension leaves, go horizontal, so I lose all suspension and it just goes bump bump really loud. So I put some air in and we get some spring back. Leveling just gives you leveling, as I say, and my observation is they're more effective at getting you level.
And he says, what if one of your airbags bursts? Now you're talking to a man here who has difficulty. That plastic stuff that they wrap parcels up in these days. It's impossible to get into without scissors or stabbing it or something like that. So what are these bags made out of?
They're very high density rubber. They're usually made by Dunlop, so like a tyre really. So really important you don't overinflate the bag. I think I've never known one burst. I mean, I'm sure they can, and I'm sure they have, but you would just replace it. It's just putting a new bag in and reconnecting the air pipe to it, so pretty straightforward to do. But I think that's pretty unlikely. And in terms of warranty and lifespan of them, download our matrix, which compares and contrasts all the current levelling systems available in the UK and with VB Air as well. And on there is the detail of all the different warranties. You can get it for free at mhmp.info/levelling.
Yeah, and we did a podcast on this just a few weeks ago, didn't we?
We did, with the lovely Oakley from Bristol Caravans. Maybe give Oakley a ring. He bigs on and focuses on getting a kind of pre-inspection done before any fitting, and it's not expensive. In fact, it's free if you quote Motorhome Matt when you ring him up, and go down there. So they're in North Bristol, and get him to have a look at your van, and he'll give you an assessment.
Fab. Ron Violet is in Hot Springs Village in Arizona in the USA. He's asking, I have a 2015 Ford Transit diesel dual battery. I just replaced the batteries and ever since I get an annoying beep about every 25 seconds. Beep. I have reset the BMS. What's a BMS?
Battery management system.
That doesn't help. Beep. Any idea what is causing this problem? Beep.
Yeah. So if it's got a BMS, it's a lithium. That is annoying.
You get annoying, can't you? Beep.
I know a song that will get on your nerves. A BMS means it's a lithium battery. Normally, shut up. Normally, it's because the battery's going flat, and without a meter on it to test it, it was impossible to diagnose, I'm afraid. My advice would be to get an auto electrician to come out and have a look and test it properly, or take it to a workshop that specialise in lithium leisure batteries. If it's not your leisure and it's your starter battery, then you take it to the Ford agent and they'll have a look.
Can you just plug in one of those diagnostic things underneath the steering wheel?
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you could. It's not going to test the battery, though.
But if there's an error code...
Well, you wouldn't.
And you can clear it down.
It depends what's beeping. If it's the battery beeping, the ECU wouldn't necessarily log an error code because it's a battery fault. But yeah, it's the University of YouTube all over again, isn't it? Take it to a specialist. Don't take to Facebook and get 100 people giving you their best guess. I'm not going to guess other than to say it could be the battery level is going flat. But why? What's happening? There's a whole bigger picture going on here. So take it to a specialist and get them to diagnose the fault and fix it.
Well, that told me.
Yeah, behave.
How do people get in touch?
We'd love it if you did. Just head to mhmp.info/ask Matt. You can fill in the form with your question and we'll read it, or record it with the orange button. And please tell us where in the world you are.
And what about your new Facebook group? Tell me about that.
It's called Chat with Motorhome Matt, completely free to join. The barrier to entry is really low, just a few simple questions, agree to the rules and you're in. No self-promotion. We are allowing business pages to join the group because we want you contributing to the community with helpful hints, tips and advice. But if you start promoting your business, that's it. Maddie will be on your case. And 3 strikes and you are out. And we have had to remove a few persistent offenders. You know who you are. So please do join the group. But let's get involved in community and discussion, not promotion. That is not what this group is for. And it is really good. It's great.
Chat with Motorhome Matt at mhmp.info/chat. And if you're looking for trusted brands and services, then make sure you visit the Motorhome Matt approved directory. That's at MHMP, Motorhome Matt podcast, you see, mhmp.info/approved.
And as we always ask you, please, if you're listening, follow on your favourite podcast app. It really helps the algorithm. Or if you're watching on YouTube, click subscribe and that little bell, and YouTube will tell you when new episodes are released.